Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Bullets and Bourbon. I'm Matt Gunlock, and today we're interviewing Tim Simansky, aka WODdoc. Tim is a health professional, competitor, and organizer of the Fitness and Firearms Online competition, or as I call it, fuck around and find out. But before I get started, I just got one question for you.
Yeah,
Are you a Bruins fan?
I'm not. I grew up in Pennsylvania, so I was a Pens fan forever.
I'm
Especially
sorry.
yeah, I grew up in hey, watch it. Northeast Pennsylvania, so it's the home of the baby Pens, Scranton Wilkes-Barre Pens. So I was always kind of a Penguins fan. Plus they're black and gold, and
Yep.
that matched my high school colors. So it
Okay.
was just always we were always there. But I remember going to games as a kid and stuff like that, watching Fleury and Crosby come up. They weren't there long.
No.
Couple.
But well, I mean, I'll leave just out even more. Lemieux and Yager.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, I remember growing up watching those two guys, and I mean, as much as I'm not a Pens fan now, I mean, you got to you got to give that whole organization credit, especially like Lemieux. He
Hmm.
brought that organization back from the dead. Like they were ready to get sold, and he bought the organization and turned the whole thing around.
Yeah. Too bad, like somebody can't do that for the Pirates, huh?
True. But I will say I'm now a Caps fan. So I'm from Miami originally.
Hmm.
And you know, that's not a hockey state. I mean, I guess it kind of is now considering that the Panthers won this year. And, I think Florida won two back-to-back Stanley Cup championships. Um, but I grew up as a Dallas Stars fan. Like that was my
Hmm.
team back in the day. And I mean,
Because you
before that,
love
it
the
was the
Mighty
North.
Ducks.
No, it was North Stars before then because like Mike Modano was like my idol growing up,
Uh-huh.
and then they moved to Dallas, and then I came in the Marine Corps, and in 2010 I was on a ship on deployment, and I saw Russia versus I think it was Russia versus Czech Republic, and you had Ovechkin on one side, and you had Yager on the other, and Ovechkin just destroyed Yager, just like gave him a huge body check, and then that was the year that Yager came back to the NHL,
Hmm.
and then that's whenever I became a Caps fan.
Okay. I'm not as much as a fan as that. I think I was more like it was a place to go drink cheap beer for a little bit of a time and watch some scuffles.
Oh yeah.
And it's a great sport to watch live. Like a lot
Hmm.
of, especially nowadays, so many sports like they're just not worth to watch live. Like I will hardly ever, like even like being up here,
Hmm.
watch a football game live. Like there's no reason to. It's
Yeah.
just the TV and the replays, they're so nice now.
Yep.
Like, why go out there and watch a big screen for like $400? Like,
Hmm.
So I know some people love it, and to each their own. But I'll sit and watch it from the comfort of the couch.
Yeah. No, I get that. I'm kind of like that myself now.
Hmm.
But to start it off, can you kind of give a little bit of background about yourself?
Sure. Well, like where I came from and all that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
and you've kind of already named some of that, but like, you compete now, and so what are your primary disciplines that you compete in? Who is Tim Szymanski?
Sure. Well, Tim Simansky's a farm boy from Pennsylvania. Grew up on a dairy farm, northeast Pennsylvania, outside of Scranton, a little town called Lake Ariel. I was always into like hunting and fishing, and I grew up as a wrestler, so like sports in general. Like I was pretty ADHD, and my parents just shoved me into everything that would just get me out of the house. Um, so that was kind of like my life. I loved hunting and fishing and stuff like that. I was a big archer when I first like that was like my first passion.
Hmm.
Never really got into competitive shooting as a kid. I did a couple things that were associated with like 4-H type stuff. It was
Okay.
kind of like they were related to hunting. You had to do like a sporting clay shoot, three position 22 rifle shoot, and then like a 3D archery like
Yeah.
uh whatever like 3D archery like trail.
Yeah, okay.
And I did that, and that was like my intro to competitive marksmanship, right? But quite frankly, like the idea that my dad, like we didn't grow up, I didn't grow up with money. So like the idea that I was going to spend money to punch holes in paper, that was not gonna gonna fly in my household because, everything that we hunted or used a firearm for was for sustenance, right? Like we harvest our own venison, our own rabbits, our own pheasants, quails, ducks, like that type of turkeys, like
Yeah.
that's what we did. So like just to throw holes in papers, it was a waste of money.
Hmm.
So growing up, I never did any of that stuff. Moving on, I went to undergrad, and started in pre-med and then ended up going into chiropractic. I went to chiropractic in upstate New York. And then I moved to outside of Jersey, well, Northeast Jersey, yeah, Northeast Jersey, and that was where I got my first chiropractic job. And I was taking a postdoctor at the time in sport rehabilitation, and that's when I kind of got into CrossFit and kind of got out of college. I wrestled in high school and college, so I was looking for something to fill that competitive void, and I found CrossFit. I got pretty passionate about that, but that's also when I started shooting, right?
Okay.
Like, it's weird because it was in Jersey, but like that's like when I had more time to do recreational shooting. It wasn't anything crazy. It was like, in the indoor range, like in your little box and stuff like that. But I liked using a firearm. I liked using a pistol. It kind of reminded me of the farm, even though I wasn't on the farm and I got to shoot. So throughout the course of 15 to 19, I kind of just shot recreationally indoors and stuff like that. Um, because I was very into CrossFit, when I would go back to the farm, I would start to add workouts into my shooting because we have a small range there and stuff like that. And I would just start doing some CrossFit movements with shooting to make it more fun, honestly, like rather than just standing there and shooting. And I never did USPSA or two gun or three gun or anything like that. So like I didn't even know like the running around and stuff like that. It was just me exercising and shooting because it was two things I loved.
Hmm.
So, uh, yeah, so that was my intro. So I got tagged in a Instagram post. Like one of my buddies tagged me in an Instagram post, said, "Hey, like you're running around carrying feed bags, shooting like targets. I think you would like this." And I looked at it and I was like, "Wow, that's awesome." It was the tactile games, and the issue is because I was so ill-equipped in firearms and rather than like just being on the farm, and we're talking like using like a bolt action Remington
Yeah.
versus like a semi-automatic of any kind. So the idea of getting on a plane and traveling with one, like that was
It's
very
foreign.
overwhelming. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was very overwhelming. So I watched it on Instagram, like just hoping I could do it, like looking for a competition. They actually had one in Pennsylvania, but it was like months out, right? So I just kind of watched it on Instagram. I just kind of was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Um, but COVID hit, and everything shut down except the tactical games. Tactical games was like, no, we're still doing everything. So
Well, it's
because
an
of that,
outdoor activity.
yeah, because of that, I was like, my office was pretty much shut down. We were seeing like a couple people a week, like couple visits a week. So I was like, screw this. And I just took a road trip because the idea of getting on a plane, like I just couldn't do it. I took a road trip with my firearms, drove down, did my first tactical games at GTI in Georgia. And that was my intro to competitive shooting. And then from there, it just kind of spiraled to where it is today.
No, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's a good story. You know, I grew up in Miami, never had an opportunity. My introduction to firearms is Marine Corps. And then yeah, I was like, I want to get better. So that's how I got better,
Mhm.
to get better at my job. But I want to go back to the hunting piece. Do you still go out and hunt to this day?
Oh yeah, I'll never give that up.
Do do you do it up there in like the Boston area? Like not Boston, but around Mass in the Massachusetts area and like northern like Maine or anything like that?
I do not Maine. I do in Western Mass a little bit, but it's rarely. A lot of the stuff that I do, I still go back to Pennsylvania for hunting there, just because it's like the people I grew up with hunting, and it's like it's just a great, like good to go home, see
It's
the
a good time to
family,
hang out.
yeah, hang out. Like it's a social thing. I don't hunt like I used to. Like I used to like take notes and like, like the whole like I was in
Yep.
it, right?
Oh yeah.
Now I go and I know my farm. Like we have a little over 300 acres like and it's just, you know it. You grew up in it. So it's just nice to walk in the woods and see the game and see the wildlife and it's just very relaxing. It gets me out of the Boston like mode.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Like I live down in, about hour and 15 minutes south of Washington D.C. and like I live in the country and I go hunt on the neighbor's property and like one of the things that we do kind of like how you said it's like more of a social thing now it's kind of like we take our hunting seriously. Like I can walk out my back door and I can go hunt whenever I want in season. But we get together sometimes and like after a hunt we'll just take our meat and we go out to the pavilion that he built and we'll cook food or cook breakfast, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, the coffee in the morning before you go in the woods,
Hmm.
the whatever, the soup, at lunch, like in the wintertime, or like, like my dad, we have like a coal stove type, it's like one of those old stoves that you open from the top and like it like, have fire. My dad will cook on that in the garage and he'll make dinner for everyone and stuff like that, especially because he still runs the farm, so he like we would hunt till dark, so he would be back early, so he put the pot of stew on or something like that. And then we just BS, play a little cards at night or something like that. It's just very relaxing and social and downwinding and a lot of fun.
No, that's good. Yeah. So you're a chiropractor, but and got your doctorates, you've been through that whole path. And, as some of us aging individuals, and even the younger guys too, who put a beating on their body, what are some tips you can give people for injury prevention and rehabilitation with a non-invasive means?
So the best tip that I can give anyone, and it's the hardest one to listen to, is
Warm
that,
up.
well, it's not even warm up. Honestly, it's I was gonna say just the opposite. It's cool down, right? So the recovery from the workout is the most important thing that you can do. It's it is this is scientifically proven. This is not myth. This is not opinion. This is fact. If you want a longer longevity, if you want longevity in any of your sports, in any like performance wise, anything like that, you need to recover optimally, right? So where people get confused, especially in the athletic world, is they believe the stimulus is the most important. And it is important. You need, like when I say stimulus, I mean the workout, right? So
Hmm.
whatever that is, in your own discipline, however you're working out, when you work out, that is a stimulus for adaptation. Simply put, your body is doing something that is hard and difficult, likely if you're training, right? And it is adapting to that by making certain changes, right?
Hmm.
So the only way that you actually continue to improve is if that adaptation pattern continues to happen. And the only way that can happen is with recovery. What happens with people, and the reason why they tend to break down, there's two things that happen. The first thing is as you age, you simply don't cellularly divide as fast. So you don't heal as fast, right?
Hmm.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is you're like hormonally you change, right? So
Yep.
both of those things mean slower recovery, right? So you can get away with it when you're 17 because you're all piss and vinegar. But
Hmm.
like uh you can't because you actually have physical tissue changes as you age. Your tissues are harder, they're drier, they're less extensible. And if you're not doing everything you can to recuperate from the stimulus, two things are going to happen. Either you're gonna hit a plateau very quick, or you're gonna get injured. So recovery, like the cool down, is a thing. The nutrition, the hydration, and the sleep afterwards is a thing. And if you're not prioritizing them, you're just wasting your time and your effort and breaking yourself down with the stimulus.
No, that's actually really helpful. I mean, y- as when we're young, we don't pay attention to any of that. I never did. I
Why would
never
you?
did a proper warm up. Like in the Marine Corps, when we did, group PT, yeah, like it was built into the programming that you got a warm up, you got the stimulus, and then you got the cool down. But whenever you're going out and doing stuff on your own, it's like, ah, fuck that other shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do my
Yeah.
own thing, and that's just kind of how it is, and I think that's how most people are built. They don't think about the repercussions. I know I don't. I know I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago, and my body hurts for it among all the other bullshit I put it through. But
Yeah.
no, that's good. That's good information, and I would have never thought of the cool down being that important. And
You it's the time that your body is the most prone to adapt, right?
mhm,
So like when you warm up, what you're really doing is just raising your core body temperature, right? You're
mhm,
making your tissues more pliable simply by heat.
mhm,
But after you've done a workout, whatever, like pick you did a squat session, right?
mhm,
Like you've actually created micro tears and changes in the protein formations of your tissues, right? Like that's what the stimulus did. That's what loading your body did, right? So that is when your tissues are actually the most pliable. That is like when you're going to get the most benefit from static stretching or rolling or movement therapies, like just going through and improving those end ranges of motion, like is when the tissue's already been all beat up through the exercise, and it's also when you're like probably the most pumped, right? So you have
mhm.
the most blood inside your tissues, which is going to keep them the warmest, which is going to keep them most pliable. Even if you feel tight, feeling tight and objectively improving your range of motion are two different things.
So I got a question about this whole subject then. Like, like I have a fitness monitor, I have a Garmin watch and I have a Whoop strap.
Yep.
And like there's also the Aura ring and you can
Hey,
have an
don't
Apple
be
Watch.
doing Aura. We got Whoop up here. Whoop is a Boston company here.
Oh, I know it is.
Yeah.
No, I'm just naming the different ones
No,
out
I'm
there,
kidding. I'm
but
kidding.
like how beneficial and how would you tell people to look at the data from those devices?
Great question.
I mean, first, I know you always have to just listen to your body, go off of what your body says, even if it says you're like fully recovered. It also depends on
Yes.
how you are.
Yeah, 100%. The first thing I would tell you is that if you don't alter anything from the data, then you're just wasting money,
Hmm.
right? Because I mean, I did it. I wore a Whoop for 3 years, never took it off. I had like a callus on my wrist. But whether I felt good or whether I didn't feel bad, whether or felt good or felt bad, like whether it said my recovery was -2 or 100, I still did my work. I was like, what am I doing? But I think that the people that it benefits the most are the extremely underconditioned because it provides a sense of motivation, and the extreme conditioned because it tells them those little tweaks that they have to do within their schedule to optimize their performance. I think everybody in the middle, which is probably like 99% of the people that take it,
Hmm.
it's just a fun gadget to look at the numbers and get and look at something.
Yeah.
If it works as a motivational device, then it's good. Like if you feel accountable because of it, it's good. Um, I don't know if they change that much. Whoop would probably hate me for that, but I think they're awesome if
Yeah.
you use the data correctly.
Well, it's like I like the new 5.0. They just came out with that within the past month or two, and that has an EKG monitor on it. And now, is it
Yeah.
like, do they consider it like a medical device? No, they don't, and they'll tell you that. But it's a way that you can also track what's going on internally with your heart,
Hmm.
which is cool. Like, I have a family history of cardio, of family that had heart attacks. Well, I kind of want to monitor what's my heart doing now. Is everything right? So, like, that's a motivation for me to make sure that
Yeah,
that's good.
and
And then even
it's great.
sleep. I think sleep is like, we all talk about sleep is the most important for recovery.
Hmm.
And I have problems sleeping. So it's like, whenever I tweak something or, change the temperature in the room or do something and I get that full night's quality of sleep and I can look at the numbers and the data. It's like, okay, something was done right. I need to let me track this long term just to see if this is actually beneficial.
Right, which means that you're making a change based on the data, which
Hmm.
that's how it's supposed to be used. I actually think that that is one of the things that Whoop and those other devices work so well with is the sleep because it, if anything, incentivizes me like to go to bed earlier because I'm like, oh, I want a better, recovery score.
Hmm.
So I like, again, I would never knock them if you use them correctly. I think that they could be very useful. Most people won't though.
Right. So, whenever somebody's looking for a chiropractor or physical therapy, somewhere to where they need to rehabilitate,
hmm
what are some questions that you would ask to, find in a practice that's good for you?
I feel like this is a loaded question because I am super uh, I'm super objectively based on treatment strategies.
Hmm.
So coming as a chiropractor who half the people think that you're like this pseudo doctor, pseudoscience person, right? But also coming from a pre-med background and then going to a postdoctorate program with sport rehabilitation, like the first things that I would tell you is that if in any office, chiropractic office, PT office, whatever, if they try to advertise some sort of quick fix, it's a sales pitch.
Hmm.
That doesn't happen. And nothing else does it happen. If people advertise a quick way to fix your headlights, probably is a sales pitch, right? Uh, so like when somebody comes in like, oh, you had back pain for 10 years and oh, no problem. We'll get this all fixed up. We just need to adjust this or realign your spine. Um, so I would stay away from any quick fixes because they're not warranted. And oh, I said alignment, so I need to address that, especially in the chiropractic world. If a chiropractor takes a an X-ray of your body and says your spine looks like this and it should look like that, walk out of the office. Don't even allow him to finish what they were saying. Just say, "Hey, thanks," and leave because that has been proven over and over and over again, probably at this point with thousands of studies, that alignment is not a predictor of functionality, right? So I could show you 1,000 x-rays of people that look like they should be in a wheelchair that probably won the Olympics, right? And then vice versa. Somebody that they should look like they should be in a Netter's anatomy magazine, anatomy thing, and Atlas, and like they're paraplegics.
Hmm.
Not, it's not exactly that extreme, but you get the point. Like, so when people are saying, hey, your spine looks like this and it should look like that and I'm the only one that can fix it, that's what they're saying, you need to come to me to fix it. That's called scare based selling,
Hmm.
right? So you create fear and the person thinks like, oh, I don't know what this is, I can't even feel it. Oh, a subluxation, I can't even feel it. But like it's going to kill me 5 years earlier if I don't get this fixed. So sure, I'll sign up for this, 75 visit package and mortgage my house for it, right? That is the pseudoscience and the snake salesman of both the Chiro and the PT world, right? The first thing that is important to me is that if you go into the office and during an evaluation, they answer all your questions and they don't rush you out the thing, they don't just like sell something to you, that's good. If they define where you are, right, your starting point,
Hmm.
where you want to be, like your goals, right, like so limitations and then optimal, right,
Yep.
and a very standardized approach with measurable goals in between to get there,
Hmm.
that's a good place.
Yeah.
If they don't provide those strategies for you, I'd probably go to the next place down the street. And the issue with that is that, and the hard thing about that is the most places that you see that are like that are going to be out of network, right?
Yeah.
So when you go to in-network provided service, uh, this is a little bit outside the context, but when you go to an in-network based practice, their sole goal of the practice is to optimize billable time. right?
Hmm.
Because that's how they get paid. They get paid by the insurance company. So how could they bill the most codes within a given hour to make the most money? Notice I didn't say patient outcomes,
Hmm.
right? That's not their number one goal. I'm not saying that they don't care about patients. I'm saying their number one goal is not that, right? When you go to an out of network practice, it doesn't matter. Like there's a limited amount that they can charge during a period of time because they have to work one on one with the person. They don't have to. I shouldn't say that. The good ones do. Like when you go to a good out of network practice that works one on one with you and does this very individualized, personalized care, it doesn't matter. Like their number one goal is solely the results that they
Hmm.
get. Because if they don't get good results, no one's gonna go to them. They're gonna go to the cheaper option. So
Hmm.
why would you pay 2 or 3 times more than you had to if you didn't get very good results? It's a little bit of a
Dice
I,
roll.
yeah, yeah. But I would say the short answer, I went on my soapbox. The
Hmm.
short answer is go to a place that answers all your questions. Go to a place that tells you where you are, tells you where, like where we got to go, and then has a very standardized methodology with trackable markers to get there, right? And I don't mean changing your spinal curve because that's not it.
No, I appreciate that. No, that's a good answer because I mean, shoot, we've all had the injuries, and you know, we all want to know what's the best way to get better without having to mortgage the house.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so kind of going back toward the shooting element of everything. We talked about when you got your start with the tactical games. Do you do any other types of competitions?
I mean, now I do. Now, whatever I can, whatever I can get my hands on. I shoot USPSA most regularly,
Hmm.
just because they're accessible up here.
Yep.
Um,
You got the SIG facility not too far from you as well.
yeah, we got sick. They have a monthly match.
Hmm.
My local club has a monthly match, so that's at least 2 weekends. 2 Sundays a month there. And then there's the occasional two-gun match. I was really trying to get into some PRS stuff. I
Yep.
got a 6.5. I got a new JP 6.5 that I'm really looking to start playing with. I'm just waiting on a couple things to get it the rest of the way together. Um, so I would love to like start reaching a little distance and stuff like that. Just 'cause it looks fun. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'll do it forever, but I want to play around in it, right?
Well, I mean, what I'll say is, and it's fun. I've never really gotten heavily into PRS. I've shot some 22 PRS matches and stuff like that. And what I'll say is, it just allows you to understand what your gun is doing and what you're doing at distance, and it just makes you a better shooter. Like
Hmm.
overall long range game, like you shoot some PRS matches, when you shoot, carbine matches or three gun, two gun tactical games, your ability to manipulate that rifle in that type of setting just becomes that much better because you know what works best for you for body positioning
Hmm.
and for, fundamental shooting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love it. Like whatever I can shoot. I also shoot two gun. They have some PCSL matches up here and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
whatever I can, like whatever weekend I can get off, I'll be shooting a match doing some type of something.
No, that's awesome. What would you say your most memorable match was that you ever shot?
I mean, for me, it's tactical game stuff. 21, I got third in nationals, but that's not really what made it memorable. For me, what made it memorable is I had a really good day one. Day two, as you know, nationals are 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Day two, I back in the earlier days, you would sometimes shoot pistol first,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it wasn't always rifle first, and I didn't pay attention, 100% on me. I don't know if it was like not paying attention combined with the stress of trying to do well, but I just went up there and fired my first sequence completely out of order, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up taking like a 2 or 300 second penalty, like it was 20 or 30 shots, whatever the string of fire was. Um, and something that should have been like a top score for me because it was one of my like kind of wheelhouse workouts. I ended up placing like pretty damn close to last, right?
Yeah.
And it crushed me. Like it crushed my motivation and kind of like my soul a little bit that day. And I kind of was like at that night I was like, well, fuck it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And I think that I started that day in like sixth or seventh place, like because of that, and I was able to climb back to third. I had two really good events. My last two events were really good. Um, so so it was more the comeback of it for me and showing myself that I could do it. That made it very memorable.
At what point would you say like you had the motivation, like the focus, the drive to come back? Because that night you saw what had happened the night prior, and then the next day it's like, well, let's see what happens. At what point would you say you kind of locked in and was like, I'm going for it. It's all or nothing.
Um, in that particular, you know what, there's two parts to that answer. The first part would be, I think anybody who's competitive always kind of like drags their feet to be like, oh my God, this is so hard. But like, then they just do it, right? Like
Yep.
when the whistle blows, it's like all those complaints that in your head, you're just like, bam, and you just kind of like lock in then. Um, but for me, it was I think it was a 750-meter row. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So it was a max effort 750-meter row. And I knew that the people that were in front of me, like I knew that I was a pretty good rower, right?
Hmm.
So I knew that like if I can gap the people that were in front of me and get some percentage points, that I had a chance. And I sold out on that. I think that was a PR with a vest on, like 750. I think I rode a 213 for 750. Uh,
Holy
I
shit.
I laid there. I remember laying there like having the worst headache because it was just a complete sellout. And I remember like just closing my eyes for like what I wanted to be the first half of it and not open it up and then open my eyes. It was like 550 meters left, and I was just like, oh my God, here we go. But yeah, yeah, that was it.
That's pretty awesome.
That was definitely the moment for sure.
So next part, and these next questions are kind of what you're doing for the community, and I think it's pretty awesome. Like, we have a mutual friend, Carla, and
Uh-huh.
she hit me up probably a month ago, a few weeks to a month ago. She's
Uh-huh.
like, "Hey, do you want to do FAFO with me?" I was like, "What's that? Fuck around and find out." And and she's like, "No, it's Fitness and Firearms Online." I was like, "Explain it to me." So she sent me the site, and I was just like, "Fuck it, let's do it." But can you explain what FAFO is and when and why you started it?
Sure. So Fitness and Firearms Online is named that specifically because I wanted to be self-explanatory. It is online version of like partial fitness and partial marksmanship competition. People can compete from all over the world in a virtual style format from their own home range or safe shooting area, right?
Hmm.
And it is in the simplest form, tactical games style workouts in a CrossFit Open style format.
Okay.
Like so if you know the CrossFit Open or anything like that. So what happens in a competition, a traditional competition, not the one that's coming up, but what happens in a competition is each week, a certain amount of workouts are released to the public. Everybody that's registered gets the workout. And then they have a designated time at which they can complete the workout, videotape the workout for validation, and then submit it, right? Um, and then there's weekly winners like of the workouts. And then just like the tactical games where you get, points for winning workouts and placing in workouts. And
Hmm.
then they accumulate over 5 to 6 workouts to give yourself a, divisional placing.
Okay. No, that's awesome. And I think it's a great way to bring a community in and create a community and
Hmm.
give people an opportunity to see a different side of competition. So for this online competition, what are the divisions, and can you kind of break down because like each division has specific weight standards as well?
Sure, sure. Just to back up because I know you asked me like why I started
Oh
or the
yeah.
reason
Yep.
for it, and
Yeah.
then I'll say that. So the reason behind starting it, initially it was just a joke. Like 3 years ago, I did one, and I was just kind of like I was playing around, and I wanted to try it, and I got a lot of traction. But I was still very into competing at the elite level, so I just didn't have the time for it. It was always an idea. People always asked me about it, like when am I going to do it again, type of thing. And when I got shoulder surgery this year, I was really like rethinking all the stuff that I wanted to do.
Hmm.
And for me, like I didn't do the tactical games for almost a year because of the barriers of entry for me, right? Like
Hmm.
the travel, not knowing what to do and travel with firearms. The idea that like everybody there was maybe military or police, and I never did a competition before. Like it was uncomfortable. Maybe I'll look like a fool, like that type of stuff. So I wanted to create a safe environment for people to be able to start expressing or testing,
Showcasing their
yeah,
skills.
showcasing their skills, right? So it was and everyone loves home court advantage, right?
Hmm.
So if I could do it at your own home range, that would be the first step. And weirdly enough, you guys know Kurt Fennell? Like, do you know who he is? Like, he got
I don't know him
fifth place.
personally, but I know him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he got in because of the Fitness and Firearms, the very first one we did 3 years ago. That's what got him into the tactical games. I
Okay.
think he actually even won an entry to the tactical games, like
Okay.
through Fitness and Firearms. So, um,
It's like a Jeffrey Adler story.
yeah, yeah.
Like CrossFit Games champion, he got in because it was the online qualifiers.
hmm hmm so what I love about it is it's a great way to connect the community, and it makes it geographically irrelevant, right?
Hmm.
Because the hardest thing, at least for somebody in the Northeast for me, is getting to some of these events.
Hmm.
So like I know if I struggle with it, other people have to too. Maybe they have kids that have baseball games, they can't be gone for the whole weekend. I don't know. Like so I wanted to fill in the gap for two things. The people that really want to do it but are kind of too nervous that they haven't gotten it like pushed over the edge yet. And then the other people that just want to compete more but don't have the means to the weekends, the travel, finances, whatever it might be. This is a really it's a much cheaper way to do it, and we give away some pretty cool prizes, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no,
Um,
but like on the website I looked and it's like, hey, register and you're entered in for your free choice of a C2 system. That's
right.
huge.
Yeah, so that came from like comments that I would hear when I was winning prizes at the tactical games, right? And the tactical games gives awesome prizes too, so I don't want to
Hmm.
discount that. But there are certain prizes that really like, unless you're winning, unless you're like the elites winning, you don't really get, right? You don't have
Hmm.
options to that. So I took that and I was like, well, how could we still give people a competitive advantage and then, but still make it accessible to everyone to win the big prizes? Um, so this goes ahead of all the other stuff, but the way our things work is there's two kind of separate prize pools. There's divisional winners, and they get small prizes. They get a T-shirt and a mag trophy, right?
Hmm.
But nothing crazy. Um, and then there is the FAFO prize pool, right? Or the FAFO prize pool. And that's where we take pretty much all the prizes that are not the divisional winner prizes, and
Hmm.
we put them into a pool. And everybody who competes, who registers and competes and completes all the workouts, has a single entry, whether they got last place or first place, right?
Yeah.
And then each workout, rather than winning like additional prizes, you win entries into that prize pool, right? So if you get first place, you get five extra entries, right? Over six workouts, that's 30 entries, right?
Okay.
So you can go in and you can have 30 entries, and your odds are better of taking home one of the cool prizes. But that's the only way. We don't let people buy additional entries or anything like that. Especially like when we gave away an atlas in the last competition. So like, I didn't want people just kind of like showing up and buying lottery tickets and stuff like that. So that's the way we
Yeah.
try to reward people. It gives everybody a chance to win, no
Hmm.
matter what. But it gives the people that compete well a little bit of an edge,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And that was the goal of it, which brings you to divisions. There are four divisions. There's men's and women's elite, which are separate. And then right now, I hope someday we can have masters and intermediate, but right now those are combined.
Yeah.
So the men's masters and intermediate are combined, and then the women's masters and intermediate are also combined. So those are the four divisions, right? And they are capped kind of in weights, right? So, for example, like the elites men's will see the heaviest weights, which are 70-pound dumbbells and 100-pound sandbags, right?
Okay.
But the women's intermediate masters has a 30-pound sandbag and 35-pound dumbbells, right? So they're very manageable to just about anybody that's doing those. And a lot of times they might even only be one dumbbell or something like that, right?
Hmm.
So it still allows you, whether regardless of your fitness level, to pick a division that will allow you to compete and complete those workouts. The other thing that's kind of cool too is we don't really have time caps because that
Okay.
doesn't matter. So like people actually get to complete the workouts if they want to, right?
Yeah.
Like if they can.
Okay. Yeah. No. And so like you said, heaviest weight for elite 100-pound sandbag, you said?
100-pound sandbag. So for the event that's coming up, the heaviest weight will be the large sandbag is what they're using. It's from Freedom Strength, and where everybody who registers gets a sandbag with included in their registration. So registration, $150. You get a sandbag sent to your house. All you got to do is fill it with sand. You need a scale and some sand just to validate that it's what it is, and you didn't fill it with peanuts, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so that's kind of cool because you get to keep that. And the Elites is a 80 to 100-pound bag. You can like vary it, and then the Elite Women and Men's Intermediate Masters has a 60 to 80-pound bag.
Okay.
And then the Women's um, Intermediate Masters has a 40 to 60-pound bag. Like so they can fill it to any of those. Um, and you'll have to vary it just a little bit for the workouts.
Okay. And so masters, intermediate, you'll see 50-pound dumbbells, elites, 70-pound dumbbells, and
Yes.
then females, 35, you said, right?
Except female elites, you'll see 50s with them as well.
Okay. So,
Pretty
oh,
much, pretty much, women's elite and men's intermediate masters have the same weight categories.
okay. So overall, like, outside of the fitness stuff, for on the range side, what would you say they're gonna have to, what do they need available to them in order to complete these shooting challenges?
They need 50-yard range or 50-yard safe area to shoot. That's we try to keep it as reasonable as possible, but still be able to challenge a little bit. And I
Hmm.
think that 50 yards can do that. Even within the 50-yard bay, like typically we only use about 40 yards of it. But yeah, if you have a 50-yard bay or a 50-yard area with like safe for firearms, then you're fine. I wish we could shoot farther, but it's just not practical with an online type of competition. It'd be too hard to validate scores
Yep.
and measure distances and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. How many target stands is a person gonna need?
Um, they would never need more than three, but 99% of the time it's one. I tell people that they only need one target stand, but they can get like a big piece of cardboard rather than like a IPSC target. Like just
Hmm.
take like an Amazon box
Hmm.
because all of the targets are included as PDFs and
Okay.
you print them off. So when the workout's released, you get a sample video of me doing the workout.
Hmm.
You have an instructional video of me explaining everything that you do, and then you have a written, this is all the stuff that you have to do. That includes a scorecard and your targets that you can print off.
Okay, and I assume you're gonna want like for the workouts and videos and all those types of submissions, um, the way you record it is pretty much the way that it's going to be needed to be recorded for them to
Yes.
be considered.
Yeah, that's why we give the sample video is
Hmm.
like so it's like, oh, if you're not really sure, just watch the sample video, make it look
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah, kind of like
Um,
what Rogue does with their monthly challenges. Like, hey,
yeah,
make your video just like this,
it's like
place your gear just like this, and then
yes.
record.
Yes. I try to make it as idiot proof as possible, right? Like, hey, this is yeah, do it look it like this. Even if you don't read the instructions, just make it look like this.
Yeah. So how
Um,
many people do you have helping evaluate videos?
that is a rolling number. It depends on how many people I can recruit at the time. We have about five or six that helped us with the last competition that we had 120 competitors in. This one we'll see because there's some are on vacation, but it's really kind of like a crowdsource
Hmm.
as well. Because like there's still a lot of videos to look at, right? No matter
Oh
what, right?
yeah. Yeah, it's what
Five
six, five,
videos.
yeah, 5 videos per person.
Yes, right. So it's still a bunch. And it's easy to miss things, right? Because I'm looking at very specific things. I'm looking at, did you do all your safety procedures? Did you clear correctly? And did you not leave a loaded gun where somebody can get hurt? And if
Hmm.
you did, then you're automatically disqualified. I'm sorry, go home, right?
Hmm.
And then I just try to make sure, like, did you set up the workout correctly? Like, did you show your target? Was it a continuous video? Like that's one that people just somehow, oh, well, I edited it. No, you can't. No, you can't. Sure, I'll edit it too. Look at all my shots. They're like this, right? Like, no, you can't. So it has to be a complete video from start to finish, from untampered targets to shot targets, with all your validations. I don't care how long the video is; it just has to get in that way. And you have to do all your safety procedures, right? And those are obviously super important for very obvious reasons.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not just safety there. Like even if you're at a range by yourself, you know, if you go like the way I look at it is even if you're on your own on your home range and you're not practicing the same safety measures as you would at a competition, then you're going to screw something up at a live competition, which could potentially hurt somebody.
100%. 100%. And like what do they say? You compete down to your lowest denominator,
Hmm.
right? Like
Yeah.
yeah, so you should be practicing, especially like when there is no pressure of competition, like practice all those skills
Hmm.
because they'll come back to you, like in the moment.
Yep. So this is the second time you've done this style of competition.
Hmm.
Um, the first time you did it, it went from what, like 3, 4 weeks long, where they had, time to get through all the workouts, and now you made it to where, hey, you have 4 days, gets
Right.
released Friday, must be submitted on Monday.
Correct.
What made the change?
Well, to be fair, this is just a trial. Like I wanted to
Okay.
see how it went. I'm not. This is not the way that it will be changed over all the time. We might do both.
Hmm.
But the reason why it happened was you guys was the user requests.
Okay.
So there were a bunch of people that wanted to do the competition that couldn't because they couldn't get all those weekends off or the consistency of it was just not feasible for them.
I'm trying to get to
So
a range. Ranges can be like, 45 minutes an hour away,
yeah.
dependent.
Yes. So this is a way, and all five of these workouts, there are four like what I would consider traditional tactical game style workouts, and there's one that's like a 90-second-ish workout. So it's really like four and change. You could do it all in one day. You
Hmm.
could, right?
Okay,
So
because that's what me and Carla are doing. We're like, huh,
yeah.
are we gonna die at the end of this?
I mean, I would suggest for people to do it over 2 days, like if
Hmm.
they could, if they had the ability, like if your
Yeah.
range is down the street,
Yep.
like I would do like two workouts today and maybe the short one, and then two workouts, the next day, and maybe if I wanted to redo the short one because like like it, like, uh,
I fucked it up and I
yeah.
just want to redo it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that would be the optimal way to do it. I also wanted to the second benefit is like that it kind of gives it the feel of an in-person competition without having an in-person competition. Um, the thing that stinks on our end is it makes it very hard to like keep people engaged, right?
Hmm.
Because the cool thing about The longer events is like you can highlight the things that people did well and all the submissions and all that type of stuff. This is going to happen like so quick that by the time everybody starts submitting everything, the competition is going to be over, and there's no like run of enticement to keep on going type of thing. So we'll see. We'll see how everyone likes it. We're going to do a survey afterwards for the people that do it. Like, hey, what do you think? Should we continue to do 1 day events as well? I will always do the 3 week event in the beginning of the year.
It's
Like I
cooler.
plan, yeah, I plan on doing that for some time at least. Atlas is one of my sponsors. I love them. They've been awesome in my corner since for a long time now. Um, and they limit me to one Atlas that I can give away a year. And I still pay for it. Obviously FAFO pays for it, whatnot, but they don't give it to me for free. But they still limit it to one. They're like, hey, listen, like we're not giving away like this isn't like because they
Hmm.
want to keep the quality of their product too. So
Oh yeah.
so we'll give away another Atlas next year, different version. Um, but but for that's a one-time thing. I would love to do 3 events a year eventually, but I think that we're gonna stick to two right now. I think we'll have this one, and then we won't see another one until the fall or winter, I guess, when we do spring, winter spring-ish,
Yeah.
where we do the 3 week one.
Nice. No, that's good. Yeah. So you've already mentioned Atlas. We already kind of mentioned C2, but can you go ahead and just give a quick shout out to the individual companies that are kind of supporting this match?
Sure. Well, the first one I would love to shout out to is Supervel. They make amazing ammo. They've worked with me as a sponsor and also like within the event. We're giving away for anybody that's within the first 100 registrants. We're giving away 1,000 rounds from Supervel 9mm. That's just like a bonus raffle. Like so, if you're in that, if there's 1,000 people that register, the first 100, no matter what, you have 1 in 100 chance of winning 1,000 rounds just for entering, right? So they're awesome, and plus then we also have some giveaways within the FAFO prize pool. So they're in there. Real Avid, again, some of they make all the DIY tools that you would ever need for all your firearms needs, with the exception of some armor type stuff,
Hmm.
but everything else that you would need with not the serious armor stuff. Great company. C2, which we talked about, Concept 2, that's pretty much
I
they
think
now.
that is awesome. Like no matter which one you get, like they're all great pieces of gear. Like,
Yeah, so we gave choice, right? So the grand prize winner, whoever gets drawn for the grand prize drawing here, will get their choice of C2 machine, of the ski erg, the bike, or the rower. And the
yeah,
reason I did that is because like some people probably have a rower,
yeah,
some people probably have a skier. So I think that you should be pretty stoked about getting like the grand prize. And if I already had a rower and my grand prize was the rower, I'd be like,
yeah,
thanks.
yeah,
But if I didn't have a bike or I didn't have a ski erg, I'd be pretty stoked.
yeah.
So that's the thought process behind that.
I mean, hell, I hope I win that.
I
I
hope
mean,
I hope you win too. I tell everybody the same thing. I want them to win. I
yeah.
want them to win. I want them to be happy. I want everybody to have a good time. Like that's the whole point of this. That's the building a community. Go Supplements, another one that we have to mention. They were on with us with the first one. They're on this one. They are a supplement company. The cool thing about them is they're NSF certified. So all the military, law enforcement, athletes, collegiate athletes, or anybody else that's tested, their products are certified to not have anything that will flag you on that. And like this is a personal thing. Like they have the best ISO whey protein that I've ever had.
Huh.
Like typically ISO whey tastes like shit.
Yeah.
And they do something, I don't know what they do with it, but it tastes good. I was just drinking, that's what I was drinking here. Like so huge fan of them. And then Snap Point. Snap Point is new. They're a new sponsor for this event. So They are basically, a snap cap company, but the uniqueness about them is that theirs are using real brass and real lead ammo. Obviously, no primer or powder, but you get the real weight of the bullets that you would be using. That way when you load up your magazine, like
Nice.
it's still
Yeah.
safe, but it's a little bit more realistic and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So, before we sign off, what's the next match you're going to be at?
Next week I'll be up at the tactical games. Well, yeah. I have a match on Saturday, but the next big match will be tactical games, New Hampshire up at SIG. So
Nice.
we'll be up there rolling around, and then I'll see you out in Ohio. I'll be in Ohio after that,
Hell
and
yeah.
then hopefully nationals.
Yeah. No, awesome. No, we appreciate you doing this. Appreciate you coming on. I'm looking forward to fuck around and find out.
I love it. I love it. I'm looking
It,
forward to seeing you out there.
yeah, no, it's going to be a great time. Got to try and get you out to one of the gauntlets, whether it's at the championships or sometime next year. We'll have to keep talking and figure something that works out with the schedule because I think you'd have a blast doing one of those.
Dude, I would love to do it. November is a tough time, but
Yeah,
if it's not the November one, I would love to do it. Love to get involved.
I think I might have gotten Nate and Blair. They might be coming out.
Uh, two awesome people there.
Yeah, I
If
love
Blair
those
does it,
two.
then when is she due?
She's got to be due soon. I don't.
I feel like
It's it's got to be coming anytime soon.
yeah, she might. Yeah, she'll be ready to go pretty soon, right?
Yeah, because
Not she.
I know she wants to compete at Nats.
Oh,
She's got the slot. I know she wants to compete at Nats. So, no, I'm excited
well.
for both of them. I mean, they're just two genuine good human beings.
Oh man, two of the best, and they've been there since the beginning too. I mean,
Yeah,
like since I can remember. I think they were at my first match, if not definitely my second. Um, yeah, so they're good humans. They're
yeah,
awesome people.
yeah. No, I love the community. I love going out there, seeing everybody, and I love meeting new people. Like you know Ned Freer and Dirk Weiss,
Oh
right?
yeah, of course,
Like
yeah,
fucking great people.
yeah. I RO'd with them at nationals the year before. Yeah,
Okay, but.
yeah.
Hey, Tim, I appreciate you doing this. And to the listeners, I hope you got something out of this. Please go. We'll put on the Instagram, we'll have the link to the website to sign up. I'll put it in the show notes as well. Just go out there. Like this is a good opportunity to kind of get some reps and sets in and kind of closely mimic what you would experience in a typical weekend in the tactical games.
Yes,
But to the listeners, thanks again and have a good one.
Matt. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.